We are on the RaidersImage.com website. This is the quote-unquote official store of the Oakland Raiders. It's probably the official store of the NFL.com. But whatever. It's time for another Eddie Vanderdoes rant. Eddie Van Disruption? Eddie Van Diesel? Eddie Van. Got to go through all these Van Halen songs. Try to find some Van Halen songs to connect them to. Obviously, like many other Raider fans, very excited about Eddie Vanderdoes. He was the exact prescription the Raiders needed. And some of the things he did in his debut are unheard of. Mac wasn't doing those in his debut. So I think there's reason for optimism. But I also think, just as fans, we like to celebrate these players, whatever. We want to wear the jerseys, and many people would have purchased right here, Marshawn Lynch jerseys, and because they want to they're looking forward to him playing, and he delivered with beast mode. But Eddie delivered with B mode. I mean, come on. Did you see the truckins? You got a Mack truck, and now you got a V truck. But we will go here. This is where many people will venture. Those who can afford it might go to the elite jersey section. Not New Jersey, but Jersey section. And you will see a limited amount of offerings, if you will. And they're the standard fare, just who has been on the Raiders for a while, or is a star, maybe a high round draft pick, maybe some nostalgia. Understandable. All of that is understandable. And I believe these are game jerseys, I believe. So they're going to be cut differently. So I think most people would be like myself. They'd skip over limited jerseys. And they would want when I mean by game, the elite jerseys, those are more authentic. What I meant, most people gravitate towards game jerseys. Or in the oversight of the Raiders website, they will gravitate towards bootlegs. You'll see on eBay very soon. I mean, this guy just got his number, Garyon Connolly. This fine Irishman has yet to suit up in a game. He missed the first game. He's been injured or in trouble with the law since the Raiders drafted him and before. So, whatever you want to think about that, he has not contributed. But here's his jersey because he was a number one pick. Not overall, though. Lynch obviously had a history in the NFL, a reputation beyond sitting on coolers. And I understand why there are Lynch jerseys there. I understand why there's Cooper jerseys there. I understand Crabtree. I understand Mac. King. That's more of a novelty. I guess. Joseph, not really yet to establish himself in my mind. Smith. Not Alden. Irvin. Yeah, he didn't show up in the last game, I could say that, but he has put some numbers up, so I guess he would be deserving. Woodson, where's he play? Jackson? Really? Allen? Tim Brown? Okay, I understand. I understand the nostalgia part in the end here. But, where's Eddie Vanderdoes? Again. And I sent an email to rate his image, and they promptly ignored it. If I had a supply of Eddie Vanderdoes jerseys, preferably ones I got at wholesale, not at $99.99, I could sell them all day long. Are they that inept? I'm going to have to actually go out on a limb. No, not too far of a limb. More of like just a broken tree branch right next to the center trunk. And the rate is, if they're actually managing this website, which I do not know, they are inept beyond reality. This is an e-commerce website. It is a supply and demand website. You can go on other websites. You can go on the NFLshop.com. You can go on other, websites that offer these sort of jerseys in all sorts of flavors. But they skip Eddie Vanderdoes. Yes, he's not like J.J. Watt's brother, which he will always be known as J.J. Watt's brother, as Derek Carr will always be known as David Carr to some. Eddie doesn't have this sort of NFL royalty. Eddie has been told he's behind. Eddie's been told that going to school is bad. He had an obligation that the NFL agreed, come to an agreement with certain colleges through the Players Association that any player drafted to these particular colleges that under some sort of quota system, I guess it is, which is like I think it's like a semester system type of thing, or it's divided into quarter. I'm just assuming, I don't go to college, that player would fulfill his obligations. But some people in the media have been writing him off since OTAs. Eddie's behind. Eddie's not showing up for school and showing up for football. He's wasting his time at school. All I did during that time was dig. And it was very hard to find anything about Eddie Vanderdoes. Any sort of like clip, any of him talking about certain things. But there were things out there. There were indications. There were indications. There were definitely indications. And it came straight from the horse's mouth. It came from his mouth of what he was doing while the other players were in OTAs, impressing all the coaches and stuff. He got his Microsoft tablet, and he got to watch the practices, the OTAs, to see what they were doing. And by his own words, he was duplicating that. He was using the same nutritionalists that the Raiders use at their facility, the same company, and by all indications, and these indications were before the draft, Eddie was taking things very seriously. He was not organizing 3 a.m. gangbangs, orgies. He was trying to make a name for himself. I mean, I don't see anyone pointing that out right now. He was first-round talent before he got a knee injury and put on weight. But no one's pointing out that Eddie took things extremely seriously. I do not know this person. He does not know me. We're not friends. I just happen to be an observer. I am seeing what he did. And I watched the preseason games that he played in, but those were limited. And I watched the first game. And I watched Khalil Mack's first game. I see actually similarities. Similarities between Khalil Mack and Eddie Vanderdoes. What sort of similarities? I see rawness. Now that's something that, these young players, when they're rookies, and I see this rawness that has to be curtailed, if you will, and molded into something more refined. But I also see this raw talent. Talent meaning just raw power. And in Eddie's first game, I never saw anything like that in Mac's first game. I mean, Mac was, he was in the face of, they played the Jets. That was the first game, 2014. Yeah, he was getting pressure and stuff like that, but at times he was out of position. Same thing with Eddie. He was out of position on certain run-in plays, overshooting his gap. But some of the things he did, I mean, come on. Let's make a deal. Look, I sell things for a living. It isn't much of a living, but that's what I do. And I'm telling you, Raider Image Nation, if you will, come on. Get your seamstresses together, and you go ship me 1,000 of these or whatever. I will sell these. The Tennessee Titans have a very good offensive line. I was pissed off when the Raiders selected Kyle Joseph in the first round. I wanted them to trade up, well, they would have had to, for Jack Conklin. And in the game on Sunday, Eddie Vanderdoes trucked their center of an elite offensive line in football, one of the best. Then basically with one arm, I do not know if Eddie is left-handed or right-handed, but it was more focused on left. Conklin was a little off balance, but still he threw him. He threw him with a bench press. That was actually what drew me to in the combine. No, I didn't watch the whole combine and everything. I was just looking up where can the Raiders get some value at defensive tackle. I was like everyone else, leaning towards, the Raiders really need a linebacker. And, after they selected Connolly and Menafanu, I could understand where they were going after, like, reading into it a little more. But I still want the Raiders to get some sort of value to DT. And I looked around. I want to see who's out there. Who's going to be like, there's certain players who are going to be way above, and they're going to be gone already. The Raiders aren't going to be able to get these guys. And so, I saw this guy Vanderdoes, and he was like scheduled, if you will, for the 3rd to 5th round or something like that. And the Raiders selected him in the 3rd round. Not a lot of fanfare. But what drew me to that was I was looking up the bench press, and I think he had 28 reps. And he was one of the strongest in the draft class. And then he showed a lot of athleticism in the combine drills. And I was like, I'm no scout, but I'm saying, like, I'm just looking at I'm saying this guy might be the guy to pick if the Raiders are trying to look for some sort of value. And it happened in the 3rd round. And I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't announce my pick overnight. I'm not a draft expert. I'm not Bubby Brooks, or whatever his name is. I just looked at that power, and we saw it on Sunday. I mean, that throw of Conklin. Conklin is not a bad player. He threw him. And in both instances, the offensive lineman lying on the ground was like, what the... They were totally beside themselves. They didn't know what the hell was going on. I mean, it was similar to Marshawn Lynch running over that DT. I mean, the guy is taking things very seriously. Another way you can tell is a video on Instagram of him with Carey, TJ Carey, and TJ Carey is busting his balls about, he's moving right in on my stuff, moved on right on my locker, and Vanderdoes is sort of like, he's giving a smile, but he's also going back serious, like, I'll throw him through the brick wall. I mean, afterwards he was asked about the Conklin thing. He was just, that's football, just trying to dominate the next guy. And I'm telling you, the Raiders have had some players that played very well. And I just cannot remember anyone throwing anyone around like that since, like, Lyle Elzado. I mean, take a look at the video. He threw this all-pro around like a rag doll. He threw the center around like a rag doll. Yet, once again, I'm on this website. I get no emails back from them. I mean, naturally, everyone wants to pay the lowest price for these, and they're really just driving people off eBay to find someone manufacturing these things in South America or Mexico. And, that's pretty much what they're doing. They're asleep at the wheel. I don't know what they're thinking. And it's pathetic. It's really pathetic if the Raiders organization is behind this. If they're just going to settle for this much, settle for the... I mean, on another website, they obviously, they have a wholesale deal. They're resellers. They have some other players. Some fairly recent players. But no one seems to be on the ball with the Eddie Vanderdoes jersey. And I'm sure other Raider fans are disappointed as well. Because, in other words, we can go and have, a custom jersey made. This will switch. Where is it? It'll be this one right here. If you want it in white or black. It'll be $25 more to get the name on it. And it will be 2 to 3 weeks, it says. I don't know if that's true. Just as an estimate. I'm in the shipping business, and who knows? That might just be a blanket statement. Who knows who's doing this? But really, wake up. Stop realizing what's happening here. You gotta take some chances. I mean, they take chances anyway with play. Do we really have to go through the list of players they've wasted money on? I mean, come on. Is this just the NFL making these decisions, or is this the Raiders? Because I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it after that game. Even Jack Del Rio, he volunteered to announce Eddie's name at the press conference because of what he did. And he's just going to make everyone else around better. And that's what I'm really thinking of. I'm not just thinking of one player. I'm just thinking of a catalyst. That's what I said in the beginning. I was like, this guy is going to be, the main beneficiary is going to be Mac and Irvin, I said. But no one seems to care. I could order one for $25 more, but I've never done this before, and I don't know how long it'll take. It's going to take all season to get it? I mean, they should already have these made up. Come on, get with the program. Man, I don't understand this at all. Especially after what he just did. I mean, they should already be on the website. I don't know who the manager of this website is. I don't know if it's the NFL.com again. I don't know if it's the Raiders. But if I'm managing this website, one of the first things I'm doing after Sunday is I'm going to be accepting pre-orders for Eddie Vanderdoes jerseys. I'm going to get right on it, right fast, right hard. Again, give the program. This is bullshit.